We are going to start standing and coming to the top of your mat. I'm going to stand in the middle, but go ahead and close your eyes, bring your hands to your heart, and just begin your Ujjayi breathing. Breathe in and out through your nose. Draw the breath in with the muscles of your throat. Connect to your breath. Remember that both sides of the breath should feel active, should feel muscularly supported. So on the inhale, we want to engage the muscles of the diaphragm and the external intercostals mostly, right? So the diaphragm moves down toward the lower abdomen. The intercostals pull the ribs open. You want to really feel that muscular engagement. And on the exhale, the sides of your torso will hug in. You're feeling your internal intercostals knit the ribs towards the spine again. As the diaphragm relaxes and tucks itself underneath the ribs again, the abdominals start to move a little bit more of that exhale out. So both sides of the breath are muscular. Both sides of the breath can be passive, but we want them to be active, right, when we're moving through our practice. Keep that breath going. Bring your arms down alongside your torso now. Draw the crown up, draw the shoulders down. Notice how now that the arms are down, maybe we could just broaden across the fronts of the shoulders a bit more. Feel a bit of a stretch, a beginning of stretch across the chest. Send more breath up into the chest, but keep that movement downward as well. Now start to draw the inhale out to at least 5 seconds per in-breath. The exhale at least as long as the previous in-breath. So if you're inhaling for 5, exhale for 5 or 6, maybe 7. At the end of each exhale, as we do, take that little break, that little moment where we take ourselves off of autopilot, plug into our inner strength, and use that pause to acknowledge our inner strength. According to the yogis, we aren't here to get stronger. We're already strong. We are here to uncover that latent strength and bring it up to the surface to be relied upon. And so as we move today, have that in mind, this idea of just uncovering this inner strength that has always been there for us. Go ahead and open the eyes, sweep the arms up alongside your ears. Take a long inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands down to your thighs. Round your back, engage your abdominals, chin comes in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round and roll all the way up. Sweep the arms overhead, take an inhale. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Reach the arms up, and this time, instead of going right into a fold, we're going to dive over to the left side of the room. Into a nice, easy side bend here. Take an inhale and simply rotate your right armpit to the sky without moving your entire pelvis, right? The pelvis will continue to shift right. The rib cage rotates open a bit more. Exhale, dive more deeply to the left and rise up slowly. Exhale over to your right. Bring your right arm down, left arm over. Move both, so the hips are pointed forward, but they're shifting more to the left. Then we take an inhale, rotate the left armpit to the ceiling. Exhale, dive further by hugging right side body in, reaching with more intensity through the left arm as well. Rise up slowly, take an inhale, just a bit of a back bend here. Exhale, bring your hands to your thighs again. This time, place the ribs all the way onto your thighs and fold forward. Inhale, extend the spine. Your thigh bones are moving parallel with the floor here. Exhale, round the back. Place your ribs onto your thighs. Pour your crown down. Make sure your ribs are touching your thighs here and your neck is relaxed. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale into a standing forward fold. One more time, bend those knees, thigh bones parallel with the floor, extend. Round the back, keep your knees as bent as you need to in order to keep your ribs on your thighs. Bring your hands to the floor this time then, and stay in your forward fold. Take an inhale, shake out any tension in your neck, head, and shoulders. Strong exhale, maybe the legs straighten out a centimeter more. Inhale into your lower back. Exhale from the lower abdomen. Use the lower abdominals, those inner abdominals, to hollow out a bit here, but keep the ribs drawing in. One more time. Strong exhale. Now engage Uddiyana Bandha, bring your hands up to your thighs and roll up slowly again. We're inhaling when we are ready to sweep the arms overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. This time, reach up. You're going to clasp the hands, interlace your fingers, and reach your forefingers up to the ceiling. Exhale over to your left. If that's too much, do it exactly like we did last time. Both hip bones pointed forward. The entire pelvic girdle shifts to the right. Push down through the sole of your left foot so that we're not just sinking into our right hip, right? Keep pushing down through left foot. Take a strong exhale, reach a little further. And inhale, rise. Exhale to your right side. Shift the pelvis to the left. Chest is opening. Push down through your right foot, but keep the pelvis reaching to the left, and see if you can bring your arms even closer to parallel with the floor. Inhale, rise. A little back bend here. Unclasp your hands. This time we're going to dive, swan dive forward. Hands come all the way down to the earth. Inhale, slow extension. Exhale, fold, crown to your toes. Inhale, slow extension again. Remember that your head follows the torso forward and follows the torso back in. So we're not leading with our neck, we're not yanking with our head. Last time, inhale, extend. And exhale, fold. Again, stay in this forward fold. You're going to bring your feet about sit bone distance apart, hands underneath the shoulders, shin bones forward, kneecaps up, thigh bones back, and your sit bones track down. I know that we may have been taught to point the sit bones toward the sky. I'm going to ask you to keep them drawing in the same direction your heels are drawing in. Doesn't mean we're tucking the tailbone underneath us. It simply means we're deciding not to shorten the back, okay, by trying to get the sit bones up. Take another strong exhale here. Root down, rise up slowly. Take your in-breath. Take your reverse swan dive and your in-breath. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. This time we'll take a standing back bend. So arms rising, chest opening. Exhale, hands come back behind you. Take the heels of your hands to the top of the back of the pelvis. Soften your knees, draw the heart up. Exhale, start by moving, so just keep your chin tucked in for now. Start by moving your pelvis forward and your thighs forward, thigh bones forward. Make sure your hamstrings are working, your glutes are working. Then we inhale the ribs up away from the pelvis. Start to work your back muscles more. Hug your inner elbows in to help you find that. Then the crown of the head will come back, chin up. Take an inhale into the front of the body. Exhale, reach further back. Slowly rise up. Sweep the arms overhead. As you exhale, simply lower halfway down so that you're parallel with the floor. Stay in extended spine position here. Take your inhale. Exhale, reach your left arm back and your right arm forward. I want you to lift your heels off the floor just a bit so that we're not hanging out in our knees here, our back, the backs of the knees. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left arm forward, right leg back, right arm back. Inhale, reach both out. Feel your back muscles really firing here. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Inhale to extend. Hopefully you guys have been able to hear me. Yes? Okay, good. Jump back or walk back to a plank pose now. Exhaling down to chaturanga. Lie all the way down onto the belly. Inhale, bhujangasana. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And forward, right? Inhale up, floating up on the buoyancy of the in-breath. Exhale down. Push up to hands and knees, inhale. And exhale, round the back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Last time. And round. Inhale, bring left arm and right leg up, reach fingers forward, toes back. Exhale, bring your knee and elbow together underneath you and take a moment to be empty there and push the two together. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, reach. And exhale, bring it in. Left hand down, we're going to step the right foot to the outside of your right hand. Move your weight forward so that our right knee is probably, let me show you here, right knee will probably protrude a bit past the right toes, but that's fine. The weight of your body is moving down, not into the right knee, but as you come up, the weight of your body moves into the earth. Hands are on your right thigh here. And then get off of your kneecap by staying forward. It's going to be super tempting to be up here on the kneecap. Forward, forward, forward. Engage left glutes, left hip bone points down. Hands are on your right thigh. Those of you that are more flexible, start to lean back, straightening out your arms. 2 more breaths here. Take 1 more inhale. We're leaning back without moving onto our left kneecap though, right? As we lean back, we keep that left hip forward. Open up the chest even more towards the sky, like we're doing a back bend again. And then exhale, your ribs are gonna come down to your right side, both hands to the mat. Stand up off of your left knee and shoot your right leg all the way up to the sky for a 3-legged down dog. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. And last time, right leg extending and pulling your body weight up and back. Exhale strongly. Now this time we're going to hold here for just 1 breath. Deep inhale into the back. Strong exhale from the front. Step your right foot out to the right. So right leg is going to come out to the right. We move into a high push-up position, sliding your left toes back a bit. Exhale down into a push-up and inhale back up. Exhale down. Inhale back up. You can come to your left knee if you need to. 1 more. And back up. Good. Bring your left knee to the mat. Take your inhale and lift your right arm up open to the right. Exhale, reach right arm underneath you to the left. Inhale, open. And exhale, reach. Good, and last time, inhale, open. Exhale, reach. We're reaching away from our right leg with our right arm today. So this is kind of a backward thread the needle pose. Claw the floor with your left fingertips. Bring your pelvis up fairly high, but keep pulling the sit bones back. Like you're trying to take the top of the pelvis away from the back ribs. Again, clawing the floor with the left fingertips, root down with the sole of your right foot, and pull the right thigh away from the body. So you're walking your right foot more to the right if you feel like you can go further. Bring out one more time. Taking a very strong, long exhalation here. Come back up onto your palms. Take a deep in-breath. And then stand up onto the pads of your left toes and shoot the right leg out to the right side for that zigzag down dog. Hold there, breathe there. Take one more inhale. And one more exhale to hug left inner thigh to midline as your right foot roots into the right wall. Imagine you have the right wall right there. Inhale, sweep the right leg up into three-legged down dog. Exhale, right leg out to the right. Inhale up. And exhale out. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Now we'll bring the right leg back up to that three-legged down dog. Cross right leg back behind left leg. Walk your feet out, sit bone distance apart, and move into a crisscross down dog. Our inner thighs are hugging in toward each other. The left thigh bone is pushing into the right. Make sure your knees aren't pushing, your left knee isn't pushing on your right knee. Good. Now both palms are going to push down strongly. And then you're pulling your body weight so far back out of your shoulders that it feels like you could lift your hands off the floor here. Your neck is relaxed. One more deep inhale in this pose. Send your inhale all the way out to the outer glutes, outer hips, outer thighs. One more strong, long exhale. Engage the inner thighs. Draw the sit bones toward the heels. Hollow out the lower abdomen. Bring your weight down so that your shins are hovering above the floor, still crossed. Open up the chest. Exhale, forehead to knees and knees in to meet the forehead. Inhale, shins are hovering. Extend the spine. Look up and forward. Exhale, round. Last time. And round. Walk your hands toward your toes here and come to a seated position on the ground. But once you get there, extend your your right leg straight. Left knee over right knee. Sweep the arms overhead. Exhale over the outstretched leg. Wherever you got to on that first exhalation, just don't try to go any further on the in-breath. Just stay there and breathe into the sensation. When you're ready to take another exhale, exhale your left ribs closer to your left thigh. Inhale into the stretch, wherever you're feeling it. And there's a lot of places we could be feeling this, right? So don't assume you know where your body's stretching and feeling it. Look at your body, feel into that stretch. Send your breath toward the sensation. Exhale, engage your abdominals, relying on your inner strength to draw you deeper into this deep, deep stretch. One final breath. If possible, both the outer side of both forearms will come to the floor. Your forehead can touch your left knee. We're still engaging those inner thighs. Reach past your right toes now and rise up slowly, inhaling at the top of that rise. So take your arms back behind you and bring the hands to the back of to the back of the mat. Slide forward so that, because we are going to lie down here, and start to roll back. Now, you can either help yourself all the way down or reach your arms forward, squeeze the thighs together strongly as you lower, so that once we come onto our backs here, there's a slow, right, fluid quality to that. Now, with your knees still crossed, left knee over right, you're going to try and tuck your left toes back behind your right ankle, or back behind the Achilles tendon there. Just like you're doing eagle legs, we call this twisted root. Your right hand is on the left side, left hand on top of right. Take an inhale. Exhale, push your hands into your thighs. Push your thighs back into your hands. Keep squeezing your inner thighs together. And for right now, keep your lumbar spine neutral. So we're not flattening the lumbar spine into the ground yet. We will, and there's nothing wrong with that because we'll be lifting the sacrum up. But for right now, we're pressing with the sacrum on the ground, the lumbar spine arching naturally, inner thighs are hugging in, hollow out the belly. Now take your next exhale, keep pressing, but scoop the sacrum off the floor, or simply think about just pointing your sit bones more toward your knees. Pushing hands into thighs, thighs back into hands, hollow out the belly. Draw the navel down and scoop the sit bones up. Good. Last thing we're going to do is now engage the abdominal wall more. So lift the head and shoulders up here. Push your, it's impossible for me to talk when I'm doing this, so I'm going to come up. You're going to push your hands into your thighs. You're pushing your thighs back into that pressure. Your knees, by the way, stay over your hips. I don't know if I mentioned that. We don't want to bring the knees in close here. Keep them away. Push hands into thighs, thighs back into hands, head and shoulders lift off the floor. One final exhale. And release slowly, slowly down to the ground. Take your arms out to either side of the room. Take your in-breath. And exhale both knees to your right side. Bringing out your spine here. Inhale, the knees come up. Exhale, the knees back to the right. Again, knees rise up. And exhale, knees over to the right. Keep the exhale going. We're not in a hurry to start the next inhale. We want to see how far that inner strength can take us into the stretch. Inhale, the knees back up. This time, exhale, bring the knees in close. Feel the stretch on your lower back. We're going to do one more thing before we take the other side. So you're going to reach down and grab your heels if you can reach them. Bring the heels up away from the hips. Your knees don't have to be very close to feel this. The minute you start to bring those heels up, you're going to notice a nice stretch on the IT band here. So inner thighs engaging, pulling the heels out away from each other. The heels will rise. If you do still feel like you need to go a bit further, bring your forehead up towards your left knee. Or if you just want to work your abdominals some more. Take another strong exhale here. Good. And as you release your heels and bring them back down, and don't use your arms if possible, but just kind of rock back and forth, use your core until you come up to a seated position. Then bring your hands forward, stand up onto the pads of your toes. Take your inhale. Exhale, jump back and take a high plank position. Inhale, high push-up. Exhale, chaturanga. All the way down to the belly. Inhale, bhujangasana. Exhale, Ardha Salabhasana. The ribs are down and the legs rise. Inhale, ribs up, legs down. Exhale, Ardha Salabhasana. Keep the fronts of the shoulders lifted. Inhale, ribs up, thighs down. Exhale, ribs down, thighs up. Keep your ribs on the floor. Take another in-breath. As you exhale, pull the legs back more and lower them slowly. Push up on inhale to hands and knees, extend the spine. Take some cat-cows here. Make them your own. Maybe we sit almost all the way back to a child's pose on the exhale. Maybe we move all the way forward almost into an up dog on the in-breath. Widening out your range of motion. Now that the body's warm. Last time, rounding your back. Inhale, bring your right arm and left leg up off the floor, fingers forward, toes back. Exhale, pull the navel in and up and hug everything back to midline. Inhale, lift both limbs. Exhale, right elbow to left knee. Push them together. Inhale, reach. Exhale, touch. Push and feel. One more. Inhale, reach. Pull yourself apart. Exhale, push. Elbow to knee, knee to elbow. Right hand to the floor. Step the left foot out to the outside. So right to the outer edge of that left side of the mat. Bring your weight forward, or you can also just walk your right toes back, however that helps you stay on your mat. but roll off of the right kneecap as you move your weight forward. Now, as we come up, the weight of the body is going to start to move down without coming back up onto that right kneecap. Both of your hands are going to come to the left side. If this is already excruciatingly painful, move your ribs forward a bit more, okay? If you're not really feeling this, you can take the full Anjalayasana, bringing your arms back, drawing the knuckles down, or go even further than that, right? You can even bend that right knee. I'm going to ask you, though, to maybe not do that. I just don't want the right knee to have any, right, to be compromised in any way. Move into more of a back bend by reaching your chin up, drawing the shoulders down and the shoulder blades down the back, activating the muscles of your upper and middle back. Feel the stretch on your right quads and right hip flexors, inner groin as well. Take one final inhale here. Awesome. Exhale, both hands down. Stand up onto your right toes and step your left leg back. Take your in-breath. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we step all the way back, don't we, into our three-legged down dog, right into three-legged down dog. Full breath here in three-legged down dog. And exhale, left knee comes in to touch the left elbow. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left knee in. Once again, inhale, extend. Exhale, in. Really find a way to get those two to touch. Holding here. Bringing the leg back up. This time we're going to bring the knee in. Step the left foot out to the left. Slide the right toes back so we're in a high push-up, and take 3 more push-ups. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And last time. Wonderful. Drop to your right knee. Take your inhale. Lift your left arm up. Open up to the left. Exhale. Reach left arm underneath to the right. Inhale. Open. And exhale. Reach. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Reach. Claw the floor with your right fingertips. Slide the left foot more to the left if you feel like you can get a better stretch out of that left inner thigh. And breathe. Following the exhale to uncover the strength that is already there, lying latent right within you. So we just have to reactivate it. Come into contact with it, start to trust it. Let every exhale draw you deeper and support you in that depth. Remember not to let the weight of the pelvis sink down into the neck, but let's do one more breath. Unravel. Come back up onto your palms. Stand off of that right knee and shoot the left leg out to the left. Right inner thigh is actively hugging the right femur bone to midline. Inhale, sweep the left leg up and back. Exhale, sweep the left leg out to the left. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, leg out to the left. Please don't compromise your right hip. Up and back, out to the side. Now we'll bring it up and cross the left leg back behind the right leg. Squeeze the inner thighs. Feet are maybe need to walk out a little bit wider away from each other. Your inner thighs are hugging in to dial the pelvis around here so that the left hip points down, right hip lifts a bit, the hip bones. Exhale, draw the sit bones down toward the ground. Pull the weight out of the shoulders. By continually hugging your inner thighs toward each other, press right thigh bone into left thigh. Neck is long. Shake that tension out of your neck. One final exhale here. Bend the knees and bring the shins parallel with the floor, hovering above the floor. Extend. Exhale, round. This should feel like a stretch. And yes, an engagement for your core, but a stretch nonetheless. Inhale, shins hover. Exhale, round. Inhale, shins hover. Exhale, round. Walk your hands back toward your toes and come to a seated position. Extend the lower leg this time, the left leg forward. Right knee will stack over left. If that's not happening, we just let it stand up as high as it needs to. Flex the left foot. Point your hip bones forward. Inhale, reach. And exhale, dive. We don't need to go to layer Z on the first in-breath. Go to layer B or C. Right? Hold there and inhale into the feeling of this layer. Exhale, dive into layer D, E, F, right? And so on. Explore every layer with your breath, with your attention, with your conscious awareness. With every exhale, support where you're at. Every exhale, uncovering that inner strength, plugging you into the integrity within. And teaching us how to rely on stability that comes from the inner body, the inner experience, rather than stability that's kind of manufactured and tension-filled. Take a strong, long exhale and make sure that as you take this exhale, that the exhale does draw the right ribs closer to the right thigh. Then notice where the stretch is now. Now that you've taken yourself to a deeper layer, where do you feel it? Send your inhale to that feeling. And one more time, exhale to deepen. Maybe we're at layer, VWX. Go to your very furthest point now. Reach past your toes and rise up slowly, inhaling as the arms start to reach overhead. Good. Turn your palms out, swivel your arms back behind you. Take the inhale here. Let's slide into the middle of the mat if we're not already there. And exhale, lean back. Or cross your legs, squeeze the inner thighs together, and roll slowly down. Draw the knees in. Give yourself a little bit of a hug right here. Just a quick drawing in. And then bring your knees over your pelvis. So knees over hips, not over belly button, not over chest. Left hand to right side, right hand on top of left hand. Start with spine neutral. So again, lumbar spine is off the floor. The back ribs are on the floor. Push hands into thighs, thighs back into hands. Knees are over pelvis. Those inner thighs, if they can engage more for you, they're really going to help you plug in and uncover that deep, deep inner connection. Now press down, press the lumbar spine down by scooping the sit bones toward the knees. And the lumbar spine doesn't have to be completely flat on the mat. That's not the reason we're doing this. It's just to give us a chance to work the transverse more. So we're scooping the pelvis up, feeling a deeper, maybe even some shaking across the lower belly. One more exhale like that. Push hands into thighs, thighs into hands, hollow out, draw navel down, scoop sit bones toward knees. Inhale the head up off the floor now. Exhale, push. Everything we've already talked about, keep doing. Shoulder blades are off the floor. Now their ribs are coming off the floor. Inner thighs are hugging to midline. Scoop the pelvis up. Just one more breath here. Ribs up, shoulder blades up. One more exhale, push, hands into thighs, thighs into hands, squeeze the inner thighs together, scoop the pelvis up, point your sit bones towards your knees, hollow out the lower belly, and release your head, neck, and shoulders back down to the ground. Draw the knees in close again. And stay here, breathing into this stretch. Now grab your heels if you can reach them. If not, you can lift the legs up in and of themselves. They don't need the hands to help you. But the reason I like to use the hands here is when you start to pull the heels away from each other to feel that extra stretch on those outer glutes, it is helpful to have the arms to help make that happen. Don't try to bring the knees in any closer. The knees can stay really pretty far away. You'll still feel this. We want to be able to breathe freely here. We don't want to feel like we're compressing our breathing apparatus. Please relax your facial muscles. Send your breath toward the sensation. Part of uncovering our inner strength is also uncovering the places that we normally use to support ourselves instead of integrity, right? So we're noticing tension, we're noticing tightness, we're noticing how we use tension to either support ourselves or we use tension to not feel, right? We bring tension between ourselves and the feeling. So notice all of that. Now bring your forehead up towards your knee. Maybe the heels come up a little higher. You don't have to bring your head up. It's a nice little extra stretch, and it does allow your abdominal to get a little extra moment to support you. Take a final exhale here. Release your heels and immediately with your abs, come up to a seated position and just rock back and forth a few times. This is good functional strength, right? So we want to be able to utilize our core strength to lift ourselves up off the floor without the use of our hands. That'll help you find that as well. Hands come to the front. You're pushing down with your left shin, standing up onto the pads of your toes. Jump back and uncross your legs as you jump, of course. Take your inhale here. Exhale down to chaturanga. All the way onto the belly. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower your ribs. We're going to keep the ribs on the floor for the rest of this. Legs will rise. Exhale, pull the toes back. Keep the fronts of the shoulders lifting and broadening. Inhale, lift the legs higher. Exhale the legs down slowly. Keep pulling the toes back as you lower. Inhale, float legs up. We're not trying to kick them super high. We're trying to make them long. Exhale, pull the toes back. Lower the tops of the toes. One more inhale. Exhale, reach back, reach. Push up on inhale to hands and knees here. And again, exhale, rounding your back, making cat-cow your own. Right, so maybe this time we go to one side. And we inhale and extend, and we exhale, round over to the left a bit, right? Make it your own. One more time. Right, and then when you are ready, walk the knees out wide, move your hips towards your heels, and move into a child's pose. Walk the arms forward here. Let your heart melt toward the earth, even though you are in a forward fold. So we get that nice feeling of stretch on the armpits even and the backs of the shoulders. Now walk your arms over to your left. Shift your pelvis toward the right. Inhale from your right hip to your right fingertips. Exhale, dive deeper by hugging the left side of your torso toward your spine. Inhale, bring it back to neutral. Exhale, hips to your heels even more. So we engage the core, hollow out the front of the pelvis, and use that inner strength to tilt sit bones down. Walk your arms over to the right. And shift the pelvis to the left. Inhale into left side. Exhale from the right. Use your inner strength to draw even more length out of the left side. Inhale into the new length you've just created. Exhale from the right. Walk your arms back to center. Take one more breath here. Strong exhale. Sit bones toward heels, hollow out. Hold empty with Uddiyana Bandha. Walk your hands toward the groin. Keep the knees open. And come up to a seated position on your heels for just a moment. Hands come back behind you. Take your in-breath, open up the chest. Your fingers are pointing away from the glutes and you're on the pads of your fingers. Exhale, root down through your shins to lift the hips. Inhale here. And exhale back down. Oh, I forgot to do the twist on that other side. This is what it does. When I get creative, oh dear. Okay, well, we'll get to that. Take an inhale, lift the hips. And exhale, pelvis down. Chest stays open. One more time, inhale, lift. Push down with the shins even more. Exhale the hips back down. This time we'll go into it and hold the pose. So as you rise, push the shins firmly into the ground. Engage your thighs to move the thigh bones forward so the backs of the thighs are working. Soften your elbows at the same time. If your neck is getting tired, tuck the chin in rather than letting the weight of your head drop back and compress the spine. 2 more breaths. Please keep pushing. The most important part of this is that you keep pushing down with your shins. That is the most important part. Last exhale to sit back down. And as you sit down, let's sweep those legs out from underneath us. I am going to ask you to go back onto the ground. So sorry about that, but let's get the other side of the twist. It was moving so perfectly until now. But let's drop the knees over to the left, open the chest up here, and take your twist. We'll hold here for about 2 more breaths, and then we'll move with it. Strong exhale. Inhale the knees back up so that you're standing on the sole of your left foot. Exhale the knees over, maybe a little further to the left. Notice your arms are not pushing on your legs today. This is all about utilizing inner strength to encourage outer mobility. Again, over to the left a little further without forcing. Use more inner thighs, use a stronger exhale. And last time, inhale. And exhale. Good, awesome job. Bring those knees back up. This will give us another opportunity to work the core. Now we'll stay seated. We had just taken the legs out from underneath us, remember? So we're gonna bring them forward as they already were and take the hands underneath the thighs, extending your legs straight for just a moment. Elbows draw back and the shoulders draw down. Chest is open, you're balancing on your sit bone. So inhale here. Exhale, let go of your legs. Reach your fingers past your legs. If that dumps you into your lower back, keep holding on to the legs. Now lower the heels maybe 2 inches down. That's your exhale. Hold, inhale. Exhale, lift the heels 2 inches higher. Hold, inhale. Exhale, down. Inhale, hold. Exhale, up. Hold, inhale. Last time, exhale, down. Hold, inhale. Exhale, up. Hold and inhale. So take a hold of the backs of your legs. Make sure that you do have enough yoga mat behind you. Hold on to the backs of your legs. Even if you're super strong, you're going to roll onto the small of your back for Ardha Navasana. So we're off of the shoulder blades and we're off of the back ribs. Just 3 more breaths. Last breath here. On the exhale, roll your head down, roll the back ribs down, and bring the knees in close. Great, great work. Rock side to side a few times. So we're combining a lot of inner strength today to support this idea of outer stretch, right? Stretching with support from the inner strength. Mostly our hips today. Now, as you take your exhale and draw those knees in, see if you can, right hand will come to right shin, left hand to left shin. But notice that you can bring your knees probably a little bit closer to the armpits. Inhale toward the sides of your torso, expanding your ribs toward the inner thigh. So right ribs to right inner thigh, left ribs to left inner thigh. The backs of the shoulders come down onto the ground. Exhale, maybe the knees come in a little closer, press down to the backs of the arms, maybe the elbows even press into the floor. Deep inhale here. And a strong exhale. Good. Now place the soles of your feet flat to the mat. Arms come alongside your torso. Inhale to extend the spine. Exhale, round. We're not using momentum. We're using strength. Another thing we've learned to rely on is just momentum, right? Sometimes momentum is the worst thing that can happen to a soul, because momentum just keeps us rolling down the hill, and it's just easy to let it keep rolling, even though a moment ago we were trying to walk up it, right? Walk your arms underneath you once you get into bridge pose. Not that momentum is bad, but it does put us on autopilot. We're looking to uncover our inner strength, and we cannot rely on momentum to help us do that. Clasp the hands underneath you, press the pinky edges of your hands into the ground, lift all the way up off of your shoulder blades, and root down through the soles of your feet. Taking those huge breaths into the fronts of your thighs, the front of the pelvis, the front of the lower torso. Strong exhale to push down with the backs of the arms, the sides of the arms, the soles of your feet. Engage your hamstrings even more. 2 more breaths in bridge pose. Make sure that you're not tucking your chin into the soft part of the throat here. One final inhale, everyone move further away from the earth. Take your arms out from underneath the body. Roll the spine as slowly as you can back down to your mat. Remember, I don't want to go into it too much, but remember you can move each vertebra independently from the one above it and the one below it. And that is the direction we want to be moving in here. Finding inner strength to encourage that movement. Once the hips touch, take your inhale. Exhale, pick up your right foot, and we're going to cross the right shin, really the right inner ankle, to the top of the right thigh, but I'm going to have you just bring your ankle bone, the bone, to the outside, to the inner side of the left inner thigh. So let it hang to the inside. Take an inhale here. Exhale, slowly begin to move the right knee away from your chest. And as you're pulling that right knee to the right, it's also moving forward, right? Away from center line and away from the fulcrum point of your core. Pick up your left foot without swinging your right knee towards your chest again. And on your next exhale, bring the left thigh closer to the chest, closer to the ribs, the left ribs. This is without using your arms. And this is so you get to continue to rely on and expect that the support will be there for you. Right? Rely on your inner strength. Take another exhale. Let the left thigh come in closer. If the right knee keeps wanting to cave in, place your right hand to your right inner thigh and just coax it away gently. Take another strong exhale here. Notice the difference between yanking with your arms and using the strong exhale and the intention of moving your body with the exhale, right? To bring the left thigh closer in. Then release your left foot back down to the mat. And roll over so that you're rolling to your right. We're going to stand up onto the pads of the left toes, roll over onto the right hip bone so that your right thigh bone comes down to the floor. The sole of your right foot is facing the ceiling. I'll show you the opposite side of that, okay? So we're rolling over to the right, all the way onto right hip bone. You're on the top of your right thigh bone. You're using your left leg to move the hip more open. And I like to just hang out just here in this position. But if you do want to work this stretch on the right side, which those of you that took my class last night, You're gonna wanna do this one. You're gonna come up onto your forearm. And just, you can even, if you feel like this isn't enough of a stretch for me, you can grab that left shin with your left hand, bring the left heel in closer, and then work your hand with your leg into pushing down onto the top of the right thigh rather than just being on the outside edge of the thigh. Meanwhile, you're getting this really great stretch on the right side body. Inhale into the right side. And exhale to push with your left leg so that that right thigh bone is connected to the earth. Slowly roll out of that onto your back. Take your inhale here. And exhale, we'll extend the right leg up to the sky. Take a deep in breath here. As you exhale, clasp your hands behind your head. Begin to lower your right leg toward the floor, just parallel with the floor. Your head is still on the ground for right now. Hold and take your inhale. Exhale, bring the right leg slowly back up as though you're moving your leg through molasses or liquid gold even, right? Slow it down. Inhale, hold, exhale, slowly extend. If that's enough for you, keep doing that. If you want to go further, we're going to pick up that left foot, your left knee is bent. Exhale, bring the right elbow to the left knee as your right leg moves down. Push your left arm into the ground, your left elbow into the ground. Inhale, hold. Exhale, push elbow into knee, knee into elbow, bring the right leg up. Inhale, hold. Exhale, push elbow into knee, knee into elbow, right leg down. Hold parallel to the floor, inhale. Exhale, push elbow into knee, knee into elbow, right leg back up. Inhale, back to center, bend both knees, push the elbows into both knees. And release. Good, bring both feet flat to the mat. This time we're gonna turn the heels in and the toes out. The toes are hanging off the edges of your mat, arms are alongside the torso. Inhale, sacrum down. Exhale, pelvis up, lumbar spine presses down for a moment. Encouraging range of motion. Inhale, peel the spine off the floor again. This time, bend your elbows, walk your elbows underneath you, but point your fingertips up so that the wrists are right in line with your ribs, okay? You can actually push your wrists into the outer rib cage. That's not what we're doing, but I just wanna make sure they're that close in, okay? Elbows walk in. Press down through the backs of the arms. That is what we're doing. Imagine you have a block between your palms and you're isometrically pushing on both edges of that block. So your palms are hugging in toward each other. Heels are turned in, toes are turned out, but we're dragging the sacrum forward, the sit bones forward, toward the front of the room, toward the front of the mat. Push down with the backs of the arms. This will let those lats, your lats are gonna work a lot harder here because of the way we place the arms, but you've gotta use them. You can't just be there and kind of like not do anything, right? So it's that conscious, deliberate decision to keep pressing down, hugging in isometrically. Good. Meanwhile, let's take one more breath. Lift everything higher. Take your arms out from underneath you to the sides. And again, with as much fluidity and as much range of motion, a feeling of freedom. Come down to the floor slowly, one vertebrae, then the next, then the next. Instead of dropping the spine as though it's a steel rod, move it like one long series of joints, which is truly what the spine is, right? Once you touch down, take your in-breath and a strong exhale. Make sure you found neutral spine position. Pick up your left foot, cross your left ankle to the top of the right thigh. Again, your ankle bone is going to hang to the inside of the right inner thigh. Point your left knee to the left and forward. Stay here. We're not in a hurry. I love this stretch. Once I bring the knee in, I miss a lot of that hip flexor stretch. So this is a stretch in and of itself, right? Feel it, breathe into it. Where is the sensation? Exhale, pick up the right foot. Without using your arms to help you, exhale the right thigh closer to right ribs. The left knee stays open. The left hip is as open as possible. If you want to, bring your left hand to the left inner thigh and keep the left knee open. Don't push it any further, but just make sure it opens to where you know it can be on its own. Strong exhale to bring the right thigh closer, even as the left thigh stays away. And if you want to, you can bring your forehead up to meet your toes here. You could also reach up and at that point, hold on to your right shin with your right hand, which works your core a little less, but it might bring you into a nice stretch. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Draw it in closer. Use your abs. They really will. They are strong already, right? They really are. It's just getting to them, finding them, and go ahead and release your right foot down. Being able to communicate again with the abs, especially if we've had any surgery, right? Like a cesarean section, or we've had even laparoscopy, there's a disconnect, right? And so this is about building and rebuilding that communication between our gut, between our abdominal muscles and our inner strength, really our integrity and our intention. Okay, so it's worth the effort. Now, standing up onto the pads of the right toes, we're going to roll over to the left hip bone now. As you roll over onto the left hip bone, the left thigh is going to come down. You can stay on your side, or if you want to stretch out the left side body, come onto the left forearm. The left toes can come off the floor. That's another option I forgot to mention here. But we do want the sole of the left foot facing the ceiling to the best of our ability. So if we're less flexible, you can just work with your right hand to the inside of the foot and do it that way. But our intention is to push down onto the top of the left thigh here, not just hanging out back behind the leg. Okay, so standing up onto the pads of your right toes, sole of the left foot faces the ceiling, roll onto the left hip bone. Really, truly, the hip bone is pointing down. Left side body's lengthening. We're inhaling into that stretch. And if you need to, a little extra pressure with the left hand pushing your right leg into your left foot to increase the stretch on the glutes and that hip. Good. Two more here. One final exhale. Roll over, roll onto your back again. And once you get there, take your in-breath. Open it up. Exhale, place left foot down next to right foot. And finally, let's take a inversion, any inversion of choice. Soften the face, the jaw, the eyes, the forehead. In whatever upside down pose you have chosen to take, I'm going to ask you to take a little twist while you're in that inversion. So if you're in Viparita Karani, you'll just bring your right hip up to lengthen the left side, and then the left hip up to lengthen the right. If you are in, let's say you're in like a half shoulder stance here, turning your pelvis one side and then the other. Right? If you're in plow, walking the feet over to one side, back to center, and over to the other. Headstand, handstand, you can find a way to move through the sacroiliac joints as well. Good, so once you have taken that twist while in an inversion, come back into Viparita Karani with the heels directly over sit bones. Take one more breath here. Exhale the legs forward. If you need to, you can do this one leg at a time. Otherwise, keeping the abs extremely supportive. Bring the legs slowly, slowly to the ground. When the heels touch, take your inhale. Exhale, spread out. And then begin to move side to side. Shake out any tension in the body. If you intuitively feel that there's another pose you would like to take, this is your practice. You're certainly capable of figuring out what your body needs at this point. I will ask you to make sure that at some point you do relax for at least, like bare minimum 2 minutes, but really more like 4 or 5. Not a lot to ask after all of the work that you've done. Thank you so much for being here with me, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for joining me as always, and please keep resting. Good to see you all.